Hey yo, what's good? Welcome back to SV Entertainment. If you're returning and if you're new, this is a channel where I talk about all sorts of gaming news, stuff like that. So welcome to the channel. For this video right here, we're going to be talking about the new Cyberpunk game, Neo Berlin 2087. And I'll be covering some rumors that have been circling around about Black Myth Wukong. So stick around and I'll be talking about that as well. But let's talk about the first one. Neo Berlin 2087 is a first and third person action RPG developed by Elysium Game Studio. Now, the only time I heard from Elysium Game Studio before was when they had the announcement for Shadow of Conspiracy Section 2 back in 2023, which we still don't have a release date for that game as well. And I only say that to point out that there's just not a lot of information that we have about the game developing studio and, you know, what quality of games they release, since we haven't actually gotten a game from them yet. We've only gotten announcements. But nonetheless, it is a game developing studio based in Germany. And from my personal opinion, the game actually looks pretty good. I mean, it is just an announcement, so I don't want to, you know, go too hard on them. But at the same time, it does look a little stiff. From watching the trailer, it's like two things are being accomplished at the same time. It does an excellent job at establishing the world that which the game is in, all the multiple environments and all of the different gameplay scenarios that you will be in. But then at the same time, the game just, it looks like in certain points, it's just like the way that their lips are moving or the way that the character's walking around, he just looks really stiff. Or she looks really stiff. So, but at the same time, this game is nowhere near being done, I don't think. I think that we're probably still maybe 2 or 3 years away from actually seeing this game coming to fruition. But another thing this game has done is definitely raise some questions. Like, it's making me wonder, you know, okay, you know, it's an RPG, it's a shooter. Is it going to be open world? Because that would be really nice. That would be really nice, especially just the way you see these cars flying around and just everything. The world looks really fun to play around in if it's going to be an open world game, which I don't think it's actually going to be. It seems more like this game is going to deviate more away from the Cyberpunk 2077 kind of Cyberpunk game and more towards the Deus Ex, where it's more of a linear storyline. That's what I'm thinking. But again, like I said, the game, it looks really good. It looks like it's going to be an interesting game. But at the same time, you know, I can understand why people think that the game looks suspicious, because we don't know who the developers are, number one. And then number two, there's just some inconsistencies in this trailer. But at the same time, this is just an announcement. So this game could pick up wings and go in any direction by the time we actually play it. But since we are on the topic of suspicious games, we can now deviate to talking about Black Myth Wukong, a game that I'm looking forward to playing on PS5. And that's 3 days from now. And so, of course, you know, I'm on the edge of my seat with this. But at the same time, we've only seen game footage of this game and game reviews about this game on PC. We haven't actually seen anything on PS5. Like, for example, if you go onto Metacritic and you look around, you get mostly positive views about the game, right? You're just seeing like, oh man, it's like overwhelmingly positive. Everyone's enjoying the game. Everyone loves the game. But there were no codes given to game reviewers to play the game on PS5. They were only given copies of the PC version for game reviewers to play, which kind of looks like a bit of a sneaky gag order, so to speak. And even if that's not the case, you know, maybe they were thinking, hey, you know, the game is more optimized on PC, so let's only give out copies of the game for people to review on PC to garner more positive reviews about the game. Which still raises the exact same question. Is this game performing well on PS5? Either way, it looks like we're just going to have to find out in 3 days. Now, me personally, I haven't pre-ordered a game in quite some time. I'm traumatized. I think the last game that I pre-ordered was actually Cyberpunk 2077, which ironically was behaving in a very similar way as this game. Like, we didn't get any gameplay footage of them playing Cyberpunk 2077 on console. We only got it on PC. And that was because the game was well optimized for PC. Now, this might not be the same case at all because, when they wouldn't show gameplay footage of Cyberpunk 2077, that was because it was also going to be on PS4, and pretty much anybody that played it on PS4 or Xbox One, you basically didn't have the game. It was totally different. It was a totally different case for people that were playing on PC. I remember at the time I had actually managed to get my hands on a copy of a 3080 Ti to play Cyberpunk 2077 on. And, my experience on playing the game was totally different from my friend's experience who had it on PS4. So, but there isn't as big of a gap in hardware from people that play on PC now versus people that play on PS5 now. So where it stands today, I don't know. I don't know if it's such a big enough gap that it's just going to play absolutely terrible on console and then play super perfect on PC, or at least good enough to get the positive reviews that it is getting. Now, me personally, I'm always very skeptical about a lot of games in general. So it didn't take a lot for me to become skeptical. But, what are your thoughts on these games? Do you think Neo Berlin is a bit of a suspicious title? Like they're kind of overhyping the game or trying to make it look like something that they're not even planning on it to be? Do you have faith in Elysium Studios to make a good game, a good Cyberpunk game? Obviously, there's a huge market for it, but do you think that they're going to be able to supply that demand? And after everything that's happened with Black Myth Wukong, from them having to defend themselves from blackmail to all of the support that they've garnered from everyone that's been hyped about the game, being in that Dark Souls kind of style, but deviating and making its own thing. Do you think that they would actually burn everybody like a lot of these other game studios have done? I'm really hoping not, but at the same time, I am completely pessimistic when it comes down to these developing studios, and I just don't trust any of them. But what are your thoughts? Did any of you already pre-order the game, or are you guys feeling pretty optimistic about this game? Does it even matter? And do you think that it even stands a chance of not even being playable when it's obviously doing pretty good on PC? Either way it goes, feel free to drop it down in the comment box. And if you found any value from this video, hit that like button. And as always, be easy. My discussion like video game Socrates. I just made this